Erik Ten Hag has been the most ruthless Manchester United manager since Sir Alex Ferguson. One Man United player was banished from training, banished from the squad, not even given a squad number, and now he is terminating his contract. He is not part of the plan. Other Man United players were told not to go on pre-season and to leave the club. They must sort out a move or they will not play. Certain players were told not to return to training because they're not in the plan at all. They will only disrupt the dressing room. But 13 players are set to be sold this transfer window. Already, I think 6 or 7 have gone technically. And this is 13 players. And this doesn't include players like Sedanic, Bull, Ethan Laird. That could take it to 15. You know, we're talking about 13 players, 13 of Ollie's players, 13 of Ragnick's players gone. You know, potentially 14 because Sancho's linked with Aston Villa, and we will discuss that in today's video. But Ten Hag is really getting his way with his rebuild because he's just been very strict. He's saying, you are gone. You are not part of the plans. If you're not the quality, you're not part of my squad. I want to build my team. I don't want to build Ollie's. I don't want to build my team with Ollie's leftovers. Only 4 players from the Ollie era look to be involved in Ten Hag's plans next season. But let's talk about Erik Bailly, and then we'll talk about the 13 players being sold. So the United Muppeteers have been speaking about Bailly, and they obviously mentioned in the past that he's been excluded from first team activities. Reports from Turkey indicate Erik Bailly has agreed a contract with Besiktas now and will now seek termination with United. Samuel Luckhurst, United Muppeteers, people with inside sources have basically said Bailly literally been banished from training. Bailly and Telles, but particularly Bailly because Bailly caused some dressing room issues. Remember, Ralph Rangnick used to play Phil Jones at the end of the season. There was a lot that went down behind the scenes with Bailly. But Erik Bailly and Alex Telles were 2 players that basically banished from the team. They're like, you cannot return to training. You know, with Bailly, he couldn't even return to the dressing room or speak to the players, which people say is quite extreme. But Erik Ten Hag was like, I want you to have nothing to do with the club. Erik Ten Hag was like, I don't like your attitude. You're injured. You're not part of my plans. I don't want you to have anything to do with the club because we know that Bailly was involved. Well, allegedly, Bailly was involved in leaks and a lot of the issues. And obviously, Bailly, you know, a lot of fans will say, "Oh, no, he's not wrong." But as a professional player, you can't be liking posts about Maguire being rubbish and you being better as his teammate. Of course, Maguire's going to see that and he's not going to be happy, and it's going to cause a disrupt. But Bailly's basically wasn't given a squad number, was told not to return to train alone. Basically excluded from first team activity, and United are preparing to terminate his contract. And this is, is actively being worked on termination of his contract so he completes his move. They don't even care about the money. Man United will pay Bailly to leave the club. They want him gone. And that is crazy because Man United offered him a contract less than 2 years ago under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He got a new contract under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 2 years ago. Phil Jones got a new contract under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 3 years ago. They tried to do the same with David De Gea this summer. And Ten Hag just said to the board, look what you did with Phil Jones. Look what you did with Erik Bailly, giving out new contracts to increase players' value. Better to let them leave for free sometimes, because has Erik Bailly and Phil Jones' new contract been worth it? Absolutely not. And I liked Erik Bailly. I think that he should have probably played over Maguire at some points of that Ollie season. But, as a collective, he was not worth that new contract. So was Phil Jones. It caused United more problems. So Ten Hag was like, you're not renewing De Gea's contract. You're not doing this. And Man United, who would never normally terminate a player's contract because they'll lose money, are terminating players' contracts and letting players lose for free. And I want to get into this. And then I do want to talk about Sancho the villain. I do want to get into other stories, but I really wanted to get into this to talk about Ten Hag's rebuild. So Telles has been sold. Alanga has been sold. Fred's basically been sold. He's just got his medical. De Gea is gone. Jones is gone. Axel is gone. That is 6 players out. Obviously, 3 of them are gone for free, but you've got to think of the wages. De Gea was on 15 million a year. Phil Jones was on over 100 grand a week. That is 6 players gone. You could even say Sedanic, Bull, Ethan Laird, if you wanted to really get into, you could say like 8, 9 players gone, but I'm not really going to count them. Obviously, brilliant. Last summer, Edison Cavani went, Jesse Lingard went, Paul Pogba went. United lost a lot of big attitude to big ego names in the dressing room, all on a free transfer as well. Ronaldo's gone under Ten Hag. The amount of players that were here under Ralph Rangnick that are not here under Ten Hag. The Bailly is very close to leaving. Maguire and Donny are very, very close to leaving. Maguire has an agreement with West Ham. Donny, a real sausage, has just been worked on. West Ham is still in talks with McTominay. Brandon Williams is told he can leave because we've got Malacia, Alvaro Fernandez, and of course Luke Shaw. Martial is told he can go, and we're going to get into that in a second because Martial has been linked with Inter Milan, and Dean Henderson may also leave depending on Tom Heaton's injury. So as I've said here, That is 13 first-team players sold in one window. Ten Hag is not mucking about. Ten Hag is not mucking about. If you're not his standards, you are gone, people. Like, he doesn't care. Even players like Ronaldo, the best player in the world, he was gone under Ten Hag. I mean, obviously, he wasn't the best player in the world, obviously, that season, but Ten Hag was like, Ronaldo spoke out against him. Ronaldo caused an issue. Ten Hag was like, Ronaldo's gone and brought in Weghorst. Not because Weghorst is better than Ronaldo or Weghorst because he was ideal replacement, but, Ronaldo spoke out against him. Ten Hag's been brutal with his rebuild. And I want to get into some news on Sancho and Bayer in a second. I want to show this. This is Manchester United squad, the last game they played under Rangnick against Crystal Palace. Ten Hag was in the stands watching this game. And this was the Man United side. Cavani went. Mejbri, he might go out on loan, but he's still here. Bruno's still here and captain. Alanga's gone. Fred's gone. McTominay's not in plans. Telles is gone. Maguire will go. Lindelof bench player. Dalot around. De Gea gone. If you actually look at the squad who played our last ever game just over a year ago, Dalot and Bruno are the only players that will be regularly involved next season. 2 out of 11 players in our final game. 2 out of 11 players in our final game under Rangnick, that Ten Hag watched and that involved now. That was our worst ever season, and we were basically saying that 90% of this team's got to be gone. The fact that 90% of this side is gone or is going within a year, just over a year, is unreal for Manchester United. Ed Woodward would never. Erik Ten Hag, I'm not giving John Murtagh, fair enough, but this is Erik Ten Hag. Erik Ten Hag said to John Murtagh, I will only take the Manchester United job on one condition, that you give me control over who we sign and sell. I have the say on who we sign and sell, and you do not dare give out a new contract without my permission. They tried to do that with De Gea. They listened to Ten Hag. You even look at the bench. Mata is gone. Yeah? Obviously, Garnacho and Shaqiri, great young players. Mata, gone. Bailly, gone. Jones, gone. Savage is gone. Do you know what I mean? The amount of players that have gone under Erik Ten Hag, the amount of players as well. We could even look at, when Liverpool beat us 5-0, you could look at that squad as well. That was, when Ollie was about to be sacked. We can scroll and we can look at this lineup here. De Gea gone. Wan-Bissaka, he's fine. Lindelof's fine, but again, won't be heavily involved. Maguire gone. McTominay going. Fred gone. Don't know really what's going to happen with him, but yeah, Ronaldo gone. But then you scroll onto the bench. Pogba gone. Cavani gone. Bailly gone. Lingard gone. Sancho could be sold. Henderson could be sold. Matic gone. Van der Beek is going. Ten Hag is getting his clear out. And you might be asking me, Alice, why is this important? Because we are building an Erik Ten Hag side. We are building an Erik Ten Hag side. Within 2 years, we're going to have an Erik Ten Hag team, not an Ollie team. We go through all these rebuilds, and the next thing you know, the manager's having to play all of Ollie's players, all of Van Gaal's players. Ollie was playing a lot of Van Gaal's players, but I want to highlight this. As I showed you, the lineup versus Palace, but I want to show you this. 7 out of 11 players in our potential lineup next season of Ten Hag signings. So I do think Varane will probably be involved over Todibo at times, but as you can see on the screen, I'll make that a little bit bigger. 7. There's only four players there: Luke Shaw, Dalot, Bruno, and Rashford. I think this is Ten Hag's ideal lineup because Todibo will be coming in to eventually replace Varane as an understudy. But this could be United's lineup. Only 4 of those players aren't Ten Hag signings. One of them's an academy player, one of them's an Ollie signing, one of them's a Van Gaal signing, and one of them, of course, is a Mourinho signing. He's slowly starting to build a team of players that he wants. And Luke Shaw's a player he wants. Bruno's a player he wants. He's captain. Dalot is a player he wants. He's offering a new deal. And Rashford's definitely a player he wants. So Ten Hag's actually kind of got a side that he wants. That is kind of becoming his team. It's shaping up. And I'm trying to be positive here because this it's just been a year. 2-3 transfer windows technically, but it's been a year. And normally this would take Man United years and years and years, and we'd be giving the same crap players new contracts. We've been handing out contracts left, right, and centre to the same crap players. But it's like Erik Ten Hag is getting his way. It's like Erik Ten Hag is getting his way, and for me, that's an incredibly positive thing because the amount of times we've seen Man United managers not get their way at all. There are reports coming in that Villa could be interested in Jadon Sancho and that Inter Milan are interested in Martial. It was said that United will not sell Sancho unless they get the right funds, and only do they sell Sancho for the right funds if they believe they can get a good replacement out there. Liverpool on the verge of signing Moises Caicedo for 110 million. And what I will say now is this is the potential squad. Amrabat and Todibo haven't been signed. It could be Pavard. Man United need to go out their way and get those players sold, because right now that transfer market is heavy. 100+ million for Enzo Fernandez, Declan Rice, and of course Moises Caicedo. Man United need to go out there. Man United need to go out there and sign Amrabat for 25 million. If you want to compete, maybe Tchouaméni for 80 million. But get it done. Smash a like. Be back later.